All right, we're live after an amazing weekend, the best weekend in sports, college basketball, March Madness. I don't know what your take was, but it was a long weekend. I'm exhausted. I gained probably 15 pounds, ate my body weight. It was horrible. I don't know what
I
your
feel the
take.
same way.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual games though. Did you think it was a great weekend overall? I felt like it was below average for March Madness. I think it was a lot better than last year. Last year was a massive disappointment. I think
Yeah.
this year was definitely better. I mean, we had some wild games, obviously St. Peter's being in the Sweet 16,
Yeah.
but it still felt like maybe because there wasn't buzzer beaters, but
I was going to
what
say
are your thoughts?
it's a different kind of wild because you mentioned it before the show and just now. There hasn't been any buzzer beaters. Oh, 14 knocks off a three at the buzzer. Like, oh, crazy reaction. Like, there's been upsets, but they're like, it's not as exciting, I guess. I don't know. It feels kind of weird to me just because I feel like there's been a decent amount of upsets this year. And also, it feels like every game is close. Not every single game, but a lot of these games with higher seats has been within 10, 8 points. So I don't know. I feel like it's been very entertaining. I think I've watched a little bit, if not most of every game, which I can't say I've done in the past.
I mean, I definitely watched about every game. I mean, you're at a sports bar and there's not enough TVs, then you miss a little bit of one game. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. I think a tournament, whenever the first games on Thursday aren't good, that's a problem because that Thursday day afternoon session was not good.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what was good about that day, though, was a 30-point stomping of Marquette by the Tar Heels.
I mean, we even said it after the selection Sunday. UNC could not have asked for a better matchup in their bracket.
100%. 100%. And, we'll get into the Baylor game, obviously, as well. But as a UNC fan, if you gave us an 8 seed, I don't think there's another 9 seed/1 seed in the second round that I would have picked other than what we got. Does that make
I mean,
sense?
they are terrible.
I don't understand. Like, you would think Shaka Smart, I don't know. I don't know. You would think they'd be better.
They were so bad. I mean, the game was over at the under 12.
It was. Carolina came out and just jumped on them. And Brady Manic, oof, man.
But yeah, I'm looking at the Thursday afternoon games. Michigan, Colorado State. It was close for a while. Last 5 minutes, Michigan dominated.
Yep.
South Dakota State, Providence. South Dakota State could just never get one rebound. They always needed just one rebound to get back in that game. They just couldn't. It kind of turned into a blowout. Yep. Providence by 9.
A lot of people
Memphis was up 20 most of the game.
Yeah, and a lot of people had, you said South Dakota State. A lot of people had that as their upset. That didn't work out. Memphis, that wasn't really as close as the score indicated.
Gonzaga, Georgia State. That was probably the best game of the afternoon session because Georgia State kept that close until about the under 8.
That, and I don't know, the Richmond Iowa game was pretty good, I thought.
That was good. We were at the sports book here in Colorado. Everybody was on Iowa. It got super depressing when Iowa lost. Everybody was sad. I don't think there was a soul that was on Richmond.
People were picking Iowa as like I know they're a 5 seed, but as that sleeper team to make the Final Four run. And they just got bounced by the Richmond Spiders. I don't know. I mean, Thursday was the day Kentucky lost to St. Peter's, which I thought when they went to overtime, Kentucky had it in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think like that's where people say it all the time. That's where underdogs go to die is at overtime.
I know they were a 17.5-point dog. And I even said on the show, I was like, Kentucky, that this line seems too low. Kentucky's going to dominate them. St. Peter's in that title game, in their conference title game against Monmouth, was terrible. They were
we were talking about it.
And now they come out, they run this beautiful motion offense. Looks like a high school version of the Warriors.
Yeah. How are they going to, I guess we'll get into it a little later. I think Purdue's going to give them a little problem.
Yeah, we'll get into that later, but Creighton San Diego State was good.
Yeah, and on that Thursday, San Francisco Murray State was
electric.
Probably the best game of the day.
Yeah, I think that was the best game of the day because even though Creighton and San Diego State went to OT, that game sucked. Like that was not a fun game to watch.
I was watching. I was like,
this will never end.
Yeah, but San Francisco Murray State trading buckets, like going overtime. I thought that was amazing.
Both of them got a tough draw in their bracket to where they had to play each other because I think they beat almost every other 7-10.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think they were San Francisco might have been the best 10 besides maybe Davidson or Miami. Miami was probably the best.
Miami.
10.
Yeah. I would put them above Davidson, though.
But obviously we saw like Murray State wasn't good. They couldn't beat St. Peter's.
Yeah, exactly. They're a little fraudy, I guess.
Huh. Akron almost beat UCLA.
Yeah. I thought they had it too.
But yeah, like the first day was kind of boring. Like it got you warmed up. It was a long day. I thought
the first day was better than the second day. Am I wrong about that? I feel like the first day was better for me than the second day. Because on the second day, the Michigan State Davidson game. Yeah, Houston waxed UAB because a lot of people had UAB. But
Illinois Chattanooga was good. I mean, that was just a choke job I've never seen before. Miami USC was fantastic.
That was a really good game.
I thought that shot was going in.
Oh my God. That would have been heartbreaking.
Like, just think if that shot goes in, Miami is the difference between that shot losing in the first round. They are a real threat to go to the Final Four. I easily see them beating Kansas.
I'm looking at their path right now. Kansas didn't look too convincing to me.
I would take Miami over Providence, and they're favored against Iowa State.
Yeah, I think I have Miami beating Iowa State for sure. We'll get into that in the preview. But Miami's road to the Final Four is not as tough as you may think.
No, and Auburn was their spot, and that we even said it on the preview show, and I still picked Auburn. That Bruce Pearl's a fraud. If he's a favorite, he's a fraud. That's another thing. I tweeted this out. Everybody trashes Coach K. Oh, he can't win with these awesome freshmen. These star-studded freshmen. Oh, he can never win. He always loses as a favorite. Calipari lost to St. Peter's. And I think they had about 15 to 20% of brackets having them to win the freaking title. At least 50% of them had them in the Final Four, especially above Baylor or Purdue, UCLA. Oh, yeah. And then Auburn gets waxed by Miami.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing with Kentucky is I was on Twitter. I was looking at some stats. They really haven't made a deep tournament run in the last, 5 or 6 years. I don't think they've made a deep run in a while.
2015, right? When they lost in the Final Four?
That's what I was thinking of, 2015 Final Four. Well, they put Carolina that year, but a Final Four run has not been since then.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, which I think, Kentucky's regarded as a powerhouse.
He's always been a fraud.
Yeah, I agree. And Kentucky fans, oh my gosh, obviously Duke and State fans are top of the line for me, people I don't like, but Kentucky fans are up there too because they're just bandwagons from the 2012 team, 2015 team. Give me a break. And all of them were silent. I didn't see anything. Nothing. Silence.
No, dead silent.
Dead silence.
Last thing from the Friday games.
Yeah.
Duke not covering the 18.5 was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life because Theo John slams it in, go up 19.
Yep.
And you just see it. You just see it. 5, 4, and he's just walking in for easy.
Nobody's going to move. Yep.
Nobody's going to play it. And I just please dribble out the ball. But yeah, Duke brutal cover there. I mean, that game, you knew what was going to happen in that game.
They made up for it though with that little backdoor against Michigan State.
Yeah.
Because nobody thought that was going to hit.
Man. I mean, first 2 days weren't bad. I mean,
got me in the mood.
Yeah,
got me a little taste.
We'll get into the Carolina Baylor game, but story of the weekend was horrible officiating.
Oh my God, I went on Twitter instantly because obviously being a Carolina fan, I was complaining about that game. We can get into that, but if you watched most of the games, it was consistently inconsistent at the end of games, and nothing more than the TCU Arizona game last night. I know you don't want to end the game on free throws or a foul. That's boring. Whatever. If it's the right call, you got to make it. If it's one thing, if he drops to the lane, there's a little contact, misses the shot. No, he got pushed over that half-court line.
I know. People were trying to say, no, it was soft. He flopped. It was an exaggeration. No. You tweeted it out. The first 38, 39 minutes of that game, they're calling that 100 times out of 100.
And nobody's complaining.
Every single time. And nobody's complaining. And also, it was a foul. That's a blocking foul. We see every call was a charge this weekend. Every call. If someone even thought about falling, it was a charge. We even saw a bunch that guys didn't even fall, and they were just charge. That guy drove. But that one was a clear block. The guy wasn't there. He ran into him, bodied him into the backcourt, and they still didn't call it. If I was a TCU fan, I would be livid. And people were like, oh, well, he didn't make that shot. They did still have their chance in overtime. They should have been shooting 2 free throws with 3 seconds left.
And even if, okay, they don't call a foul, it should have been backcourt then. So they missed that too. If they're saying it's not a foul that he got pushed over the line, he still had possession when he crossed that line. That's a backcourt violation. Thank God the dunk didn't count. That would have been a horrible way for Arizona to advance. But
I want Arizona to lose now.
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous. They should not be here.
But hey, speaking of bad, let's get into bad refereeing. Carolina Baylor. What a game. Like I was sitting there laughing the whole time. Like, this is not happening right now. Those refs were out of control.
They we talked about this earlier in the year with Carolina Louisville. This was 10 times that game. They let the game get out of control. And you can be funny and text me, Brady Manek should be in jail. Do you really, like, from a non-biased perspective, think that should have been a flagrant 2? Because I easily see flagrant 1. That's fair. But Caleb Love got headlocked against Marquette, and it was not even a flagrant. It was a common foul. So I don't know if that warranted a flagrant 2. I know it was intentional, but I don't think it was a flagrant 2, even if it wasn't Carolina.
It's tough because, like, it was definitely intentional, and that's where, like, that's where it's the problem. Because if it was an inadvertent elbow, like, that happens, like, whatever. It didn't look good, but since it's intentional, you almost have to. But
I guess, but does it not change for, like, there's 10 minutes left in a tournament game, so maybe you don't eject somebody with 30 points, or does that have nothing to do with it?
I don't think that has anything to do with it, because also Carolina looked like they were going to walk with that game anyways. They were up 25 at that point.
25 with like 11 minutes left, or 10 and a half when Manning got ejected.
And then, that's a tough one. If it would have been flagrant 1, I wouldn't have been upset. If it was flagrant 2, I wouldn't have been upset. Like, I think this is
I wasn't too mad about that. Like, at first I was like, damn, like, they're really going to eject him. But in my mind, I was like, does it really matter at this point? It mattered because
he's the savior of y'all's team. I didn't like, and like, let's talk about who's the most important player. Even when Bacot was out, you miss Brady Manek the most, because there is no 3-point threat without him or RJ Davis. Yep. And RJ Davis was getting locked up at the end because they were like, this is
it was 1-on-4. Yeah, it was 1-on-4. Oh my gosh, Carter. I don't know. There was a stretch. If anybody listening to this goes back and watches that game, there was a stretch where Baylor got called, or Carolina got called for 9 straight fouls plus the ejection. And the only thing that got called on Baylor was the double foul on Armando Bacot and Sochi, whatever his name was, Sochi, the number 1 guy with blonde hair. And even then, they called another dead ball technical on Bacot. I just couldn't believe it. And everybody's like, Baylor had 7 fouls in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half. Go back and watch it. Every single one was a foul. And Ryan Switzer was tweeting about it. The Big 12 does this all the time. It's not football. Double hands on them. If you put 2 hands on somebody while they're driving to the basket or on a press, if you body somebody below the waist, that's a foul every time. You can't complain about that. And then they swallowed their whistle for the last 10 minutes. It was the same thing. They didn't change the way they were playing defense, and they just swallowed their whistle. I couldn't believe it. I know Justin McCoy and all them came in, and Carolina started choking against the press, but it was a foul every time. It was a foul every time. You can't body someone. Caleb Love fouling out was ridiculous. I'm done. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I lost 5 years of my life.
That was one of the funniest experiences. You're like, this is not happening right now. This is not happening. And when Bacot got that 4th,
I thought he was going to be out, and then who are we going to turn to?
Hubert Davis made such a smart move. He did it in the Duke game. And when Bacot got that first foul early in the Duke game, he took Bacot out
just for a couple minutes.
Yeah, just for a little bit. And then he did it in this game too. I think it was 3:30 left in the game that Bacot got the 4th. Yeah. And then they took him out for a couple minutes, brought him back in. And also, once they went to overtime,
oh my God!
And Dontrell Styles hit that 3. That's when you knew it was over. If you're not a Carolina fan, you were like, "That's it." If Dontrell Styles is hitting that shot, it's game.
He stepped up. He's played 25 minutes. I don't think he's played 25 minutes all season. The first half of the season. I mean, but let me tell you, Carter, if you would have asked me to gamble my life on that game after it went to overtime, I would have, without even a second of hesitation, said Carolina was losing when it went to overtime. Missing 2 of their starters, Bacot with 4 fouls. I thought for sure Bacot was going to foul out in the first 30 seconds of overtime. I can't believe they pulled it out. Shout out RJ Davis, because it was a 1v3 trap every time. And also, it's the right thing to do if you're Baylor.
We love Bo Estes, but him tweeting out that Leaky Black is a NBA caliber player right now, stop.
He's a great on-ball defender in college, but it's such a step up.
And also, he could be a great on-ball defender in the NBA. He can't shoot to save his life. He
He would be
can't
yeah.
he can't do anything else other than defend and grab a rebound or two, because when he got that ball in that press, that's who, if I'm a Baylor fan or anybody rooting against Carolina like I am, I wanted to see two players have that ball in the end there. I wanted Justin McCoy and I wanted Leaky Black with the ball, because Leaky Black panicked every single time. He ran straight for the corner double
the coffin
trap,
corner,
and then
the coffin corner
chucked it off out of bounds. If he didn't, I mean, he got so lucky on those. Like, he did that 5 times in the last 5 minutes in overtime of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And he just keep dribbling to the coffin corner. And I get it. Like, losing Caleb Love is a lot worse than you think, because that is a ball handler that can break the press. So it was literally RJ Davis, and it was supposed to be Leaky Black as a secondary ball handler. Finally, that started letting him inbound the ball, because Justin McCoy kept turning it over. But I mean, I agree. I don't know. The take about him being an NBA player is just such a step up. If Leaky Black was in the NBA, it would be like a downgraded Andre Roberson, like a very downgraded Andre Roberson.
Exactly. Let's move on. Kansas.
Oof.
We'll go through all the second round games. Kansas Creighton, tight one, and then Kansas pulled away.
If Creighton didn't lose their big man in the first round, I think they might have had that one.
Yeah, you kind of knew, even watching the whole game, you're like, Creighton's not actually going to win.
Yeah, they're not going to finish this. O'Connell doesn't have it in him.
Michigan, Tennessee. Michigan, I mean, Tennessee had no answer for Dickinson.
I just don't understand. They should not. I will stand by this. I know they've won 2 games. They shouldn't be in the tournament. And people are saying, oh, they're proving everybody wrong. That doesn't matter. They shouldn't have been selected. But you know what? They did, and they're making the most of it. I can't be a hater. They have a legitimate shot. Who they play next?
They play Villanova. Exactly. We'll get into that.
Oh, God.
All right. Next, we have Providence Richmond. Terrible game. Blowout from the start. It was done immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to really say about that. Providence was, we talked about it. Nobody thought Providence would even make it out of the first round.
Nope. I had them out in the first round. Good for them, I guess. Yeah.
Covered 2 spreads pretty easily.
Yeah.
St. Mary's, UCLA. Everybody overreacted about St. Mary's winning by 100 against Indiana. I still love this UCLA team. This UCLA team.
I agree. And I will say this, though. That's Carolina's next opponent. I think Carolina matches up pretty well with them. I don't know if they have an answer inside for Baycott, but I am worried about that team. They have the experience there. And the only thing is, Johnny Juzang has not been too much of a factor. Have you seen that in the first couple games they played? He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I know. I think he's just going to step up randomly one of these games.
He's due for a big game. I'm terrified.
But the thing is, Leaky Black will be on him.
And he has shut down people every game this year. You can say what you want to about him not being an NBA defender. His matchups have historically been horrible. Marquette's leading scorer was like 2 for 14? I think it was.
I think Marquette's everybody was 2 for 14.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
St. Peter's was like an 8-point dog against Murray State. They won easily by 10.
I can't believe it.
I was watching that game. Murray State had no chance.
Really?
I
didn't see all of it.
Murray State could not keep up with that team.
And they're a 30-win team.
That offense is beautiful by St. Peter's. Beautiful. They are one of the funnest teams to watch, not even because they're a 15 seed, just because they move the ball so well and it's a true motion offense that is unbelievable. Yeah. After watching Duke for stretches on Sunday, it is such a contrast because Duke plays such pro basketball. ISO for 20 seconds of the shot clock, and then someone's got to make something happen, and that's
Jackal Wing 3
plays. Yeah. And then let's move on. New Mexico State, Arkansas. That was it was an ugly game. If you had the under,
it was ugly.
Shout out. If you had the under, like, you're loving life, but it was ugly. New Mexico State, like, that's another one. It was kind of like Creighton. You're like, it just doesn't feel like they're pulling this one out.
I agree. And man, I watched the second half of that game. It was just ugly basketball. And Arkansas doesn't really pose a threat, I don't think, in my eyes.
No. And then Memphis Gonzaga. Gonzaga's looking rattled.
That, and we wrote Penny Hardaway and his team off earlier in the year. And, they made it the game against the overall number 1 seed. I just thought there was way too much uncertainty. Maybe if Imani Bates had been playing the whole season, there's so many different factors. But in the tournament, it's a lot of it's about talent. And the talent came out from Memphis. I mean, they had the players. They just, Gonzaga, came out at the end.
Oh my goodness. They look, everyone freaked out because Chet Holmgren had 21, 17, 7 and 7 in their first game against Georgia State. Who was guarding him? A 6'7" guy.
Yeah, barely a D1 player.
And when he, honestly, in that Memphis game, when he got the ball, if you're a Gonzaga fan, you did not want him shooting that basketball at all.
No, and
he's very uncomfortable watching him play.
And he's struggled from distance this year too.
All right, let's move on to Sunday's games.
Oh yeah,
let's do Duke, Michigan State. Another refereeing, awful refereeing. It was terrible. I don't want to hear what you said.
That's fine, but you can't compare it to the Carolina Baylor game. It's not on that level. Not even close.
No, it wasn't that bad, but it was up there because my goodness. Also, back to the Carolina Baylor game. I just had a thought about this. Those 5-second calls were quick. It was
telling you right now.
3, 4,
that
5.
And then I watched the Duke game and everybody's crying for a 5-second call. That was, I think, like 6 seconds, but Carolina gets like 3.5. Oh my gosh. The refs, somebody made a phone call about the refs.
But that's the thing with the Duke game, though. Oh my goodness, man. Duke could not buy a call. Duke was getting clean blocks straight up, and they were giving every call to Michigan State. But then on the other end, the same thing happens to Duke. Duke gets bodied on a play. Duke guy gets smacked on the arm. No call. There's just no consistent refereeing. And then at the end, then they're just like all over the place. Both teams are getting horrible calls.
Yeah, it's literally every game I've watched that's been close to the end, the referees have swallowed the whistle. I'm not sure if they've been told that or like prepped on that, briefed on that, whatever. You can't do that. You can't call the game a certain way for 38 minutes and the last 2 minutes change it up because then the teams are used to it a certain way for 38 minutes. They're going to play for those calls.
There has been multiple games where one team has been in the bonus with before the under 16 timeout. That is 6 fouls, and you're already in the bonus in less than 4 minutes of basketball. That's not okay. Like, nobody wants to watch that. And they're not actual fouls. Baylor, Carolina, you got to call it tight both ways if you want to keep it tight like that. But then you have these like inconsistent calls, and same with the Duke Michigan State game.
All of a sudden, you're allowed to just put 2 hands on somebody, and if you trap somebody, the whistle's gone. If you trap somebody, you might as well just grab their arm. Everybody take an arm, and the ball just be loose because they're not going to call it.
The thing too is Theo John makes every play look a little dirtier than it actually is.
Yeah,
Theo John had 2 clean plays. It got horrible foul calls. He was straight up, but he's just stronger than the guy, and they're punishing guys who are just stronger. It's oh my goodness. It's
on the
out of control.
On the actual game, though, it seemed like every time Duke made a little run, Michigan State had an answer. Either Bingham or Gabe Brown would come down and nail a 3 from the top of the key. That was contested.
Theo John had 3 threes nailed on him. But there's 2 differences in this game. Paulo Banchero played his role, played great, unbelievable game. First off, Mark Williams played out of his mind. His rim protection is unbelievable. Huge rebounds, huge putbacks, huge dunks, made big free throws when it mattered most. He hit that fadeaway turnaround from the baseline.
Oh, that was
corner.
crazy. Yeah.
Unbelievable. He played phenomenally. But
even when he didn't like actually block a shot, him being there, affecting those shots, they have to put him way higher off the glass. That's such a difficult shot. And if he's not in the game, they don't have to do that.
No, because Theo John was getting cooked. But I will say this. Jeremy Roach looks like a Tyus or Trey Jones brother. He looks like one of the Jones brothers. Unbelievable.
Can't believe it.
Unbelievable. You texted me, you said Jeremy Roach needs to be tested for PEDs. This is so crazy.
I couldn't believe it because the last year definitely last year, then the first, third of this year maybe, I was like, oh, he does not belong in the ACC. Like, what's going on? He's turned it on. The end of this year and in the tournament so far and the ACC tournament, he has turned it on. I don't know what happened.
And this defense is unbelievable. He does not give up on a single play on defense. Unbelievable on-ball defender when he's guarding guards. That steal he made at the end of the second half, it changed that game. It looked like Duke was going to lose. I think we were down 5 at that point. He made that steal, and that was pivotal. Even Coach K was going nuts about him in the post game.
Yeah. And even go ahead.
I was going to say, no way we were losing that game.
I feel that way too. And it used to be on Jeremy Roach, give him 5 feet of space. Doesn't matter if he shoots. He takes a contested 3 from the top of the key now, 3 feet behind the line. And I'm thinking, that's probably it. That's the point it's gotten to.
Drives. He might be the best slasher, best slashing guard in college basketball right now. His drives are phenomenal. He had that one move where he did a slow down Euro. Unbelievable.
And what is he, 6'1"? I think he's 6'1". I think
he looks like a 6-footer, 5'11" guy out there. He looks tiny.
It's the same thing with RJ Davis. They list him as 6 foot even. He's not above 5'10". There's no way. It's the same thing.
They look tiny out there, but what a game by Jeremy Roach.
Yeah.
Making tough floaters. He oh my goodness. Making the switch to Jeremy Roach in the starting lineup over Trevor Keels was huge.
Let me get your thoughts on this. What was your opinion, or not your opinion? What was your initial reaction to AJ Griffin going down, clutching his ankle? I thought that was it. I thought it was it. Because obviously I'm a Carolina fan, but I was like, oh no. I was like, that's horrible.
That's another thing. We closed that game without AJ Griffin. I mean,
yeah,
you're letting almost everybody else shoot threes beside Jeremy Roach.
Keels hit a big one for the top of the key to tie the game.
Keels hit that big one. That was huge. But losing AJ Griffin right there is a huge threat. And he's a good defender too.
Is he going to be okay for the Sweet 16? He looked okay on the sideline.
That's what they're saying. But let's move on because we got to hurry. Notre Dame, Texas Tech. Pretty boring game. Defense won in that one, I guess. Notre Dame just stopped hitting shots.
I was about to say the same thing. They stopped hitting those perimeter shots. They had a chance. They had a great chance, and they just couldn't finish it off. Texas Tech plays that smothering defense, and I wasn't a believer.
Yeah, that Big 12 football defense.
Oh yeah, there's two hands on.
Houston, Illinois. Houston dominated Illinois in every aspect of the game. Illinois looked soft, almost looked soft. They were terrible. Terrible performance by Illinois. We don't have to get into that one.
How stupid was I, and you too, for not picking Houston in the first round against UAB? We were caught up in the Jelly Walker.
I know. I couldn't. When I saw Jelly Walker miss his first 5 shots, I think he took like 27 shots.
I think he was 5 for 20. Yeah, like 5 for 20 something. I don't know.
Yeah, he was. It was awesome. I would do it 100 times out of 100 again. Ohio State choked against Villanova. Choked. They had him on the ropes. 3 points. There was 5:30 left in the game. They hit 1 field goal and made 2 free throws. That's it.
Villanova's frauds.
Villanova's 100% frauds. They've been given a perfect draw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Think about this. If Villanova ended up with the Murray State San Fran or Miami USC or even Michigan State Davidson, they lose all of those games.
Or St. Peter's in the first round. How about that?
Exactly. That's another one. I think Villanova's a little too well coached to lose at St. Peter's.
Yeah, Jay Wright's legit.
Iowa State upsets Wisconsin. Wisconsin frauds once again.
Under 50 points in a tournament game. That's the second. Because didn't Iowa State hold their first round matchup to under? They held LSU under 50.
LSU to like 50, I think.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, I guess they have. I think they have like second most quad 1 wins in college basketball. But
yeah,
we'll get into the Miami Iowa State game. Miami,
Auburn
stomps on Auburn. Shout out Jim Larinaga. I mean, the ACC has 3 teams in the Sweet 16.
McGusty had 20, Isaiah Wong 21-6. I said it on the preview show. I said if Isaiah Wong figures it out, because the couple games in the tournament, the last couple games of the regular season, he wasn't himself. I watched some Miami games. He didn't really do anything. And I told you, I was like, if he can figure it out for this tournament, they will make a run. And sure enough, he had 21, 6, and 2, decently efficient shots. McGusty had 20. And Auburn just looked like they didn't belong. Kessler played 13 minutes, had 2 rebounds. Yeah. That's it. That's a rough shot.
They don't go to Jabari Smith. He's their best player. And he's their best player. Just take over, and they're just not good enough.
No, they're not. Oh my gosh.
Texas kind of kept it close with Purdue, and then Purdue pulled away.
You never really thought Texas was going to win that, though. I didn't, at least.
No, and also I'm not super convinced by Purdue either. They haven't hit that gear that we saw earlier in the season, but nothing.
Jaden Ivey, big shots. Big shots at the end. That 3 was huge.
TCU, Arizona, we mainly went over it already, but
rigged.
Such a sad thing for TCU fans, and that stinks.
I love Eddie Lampkin. He won me over last night. Big number 4 for TCU. I was loving it.
Yeah, it's like Drewski out there.
I was loving it.
Okay, let's move on to the Sweet 16 Elite 8 games. We're going to preview each one of these games. Let's start off with on Thursday night, if this would load. Thursday night, the first game of the night is Arkansas versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga is a 9-point favorite over under 154.5. I like Gonzaga to stomp Arkansas.
I was about to say the same thing. This is the game Gonzaga wins by 25, and everybody's like, oh, they're definitely going to win the national title. This is the game before they fall apart.
I don't know who's guarding Drew Timme. I think Chet Holmgren has a solid game. One of their guards is going to hit 5 threes, guaranteed.
100%. They will win by 20 or 25. Easy cover.
Michigan, Nova -5, over under 135. I don't have a play like either side. Honestly, I'd probably take Michigan +5, but I don't love it. I don't like this game at all.
If you're looking to sprinkle half a unit on Michigan money line, I don't think that's horrible.
Because I will say this, on the left side of the bracket, there's not a team I like. Or sorry, not the left side, the right side of the bracket. Where it's Arizona, Houston, Nova, Michigan, Kansas, Providence, Miami, Iowa State. There's not a team I like.
How? I mean, Miami's near the top.
Exactly. But Nova, Michigan, if I was going to play anything, it would be +5. But I mean,
I like Michigan to keep it close. I don't think Nova has got it this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it keeps it close. I still think Nova wins this game.
I do too. I don't see Michigan going to the Elite Eight.
Okay, let's move on. Houston, Arizona. Arizona -2. Give me Houston just because I hate Arizona. Over-unders 145.5. I also like that under a lot. I think this is going to be a super defensive game.
I think Houston's going to come out on top. If I'm just picking one team to win, it's got to be Houston because Arizona showed a lot of weakness against TCU. Houston
and Wright State. They showed a lot of weaknesses against Wright State.
And Houston is better than TCU. So I don't know if Arizona can keep up this, this charade of inconsistency, but.
And the main one of Thursday night in San Francisco, Texas Tech is a 1-point favorite against Duke. Over under 136.5. I love Duke as a dog. Are you kidding me? This is going to sound weird. Texas Tech is a perfect team for us to play. I was very worried about because I don't want to go against teams that can shoot well.
And Texas Tech is not that team.
And Texas Tech has to drive. And if they have to drive, that means they have to beat Mark Williams at the basket and Paolo Banchero and Theo John. That means I love Duke. Texas Tech is the worst three-point shooting team in college basketball. Teams who beat Duke can hit the three-pointer. Miami was hitting the three-pointer.
Yep.
Carolina was hitting the three-pointer. Virginia Tech, Hunter Couture had 7 threes against us. You have to hit threes if you want to beat Duke, and you have to stretch Mark Williams out to the three-point line. He's not going to have to move out there whatsoever. He's going to be able to camp in the paint.
You're not worried about Texas Tech defense.
Oh, I'm worried. Don't get me wrong. It's the NCAA tournament. I was worried about Cal State Fullerton. Shout out Brian.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're nervous no matter who you play.
I think it'll be close. I think it's going to be a great game. I think that might be the best game of that night.
Oh, I think it's the best game. Carolina UCLA is a great
probably
game,
the Sweet 16. Yeah.
Texas Tech Duke. I love Duke in this one. Texas Tech is a great matchup for us, I think. I really do.
I'm looking forward to that game. Just as a basketball fan, I think it'd be great to watch.
Yeah, we need big minutes from Mark Williams. He can't get into foul trouble.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Friday night, St. Peter's versus Purdue. Purdue's -12.5, over under 135.5. I would ride St. Peter's just because to keep riding the train, but I think Purdue wins here comfortably.
Does St. Peter's have any size, though? Purdue's got 2 all-conference centers.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, Oscar Schwebe, however you say it.
Tshiebwe.
He had 30 points and 17 rebounds against
and they still won.
Peters, and they still won. It didn't matter. So guys like Stefanovic and Ivy have to step up big time. I think they will.
Yep.
I don't think this is
so
close
too.
one. Usually when we see these like 14, 15 seeds,
it ends in the Sweet 16.
It ends in the Sweet 16. The Cinderella ends.
Oral Roberts.
Exactly.
Yep, I agree. I got Purdue.
And I also kind of like the over in that one. Providence, Kansas. Yeah. Kansas -7.5, over unders 141.5.
Give me Providence.
Yeah, I was about to say, give me Providence, but I hate this game.
This is
a boring game. Give me Providence with the points. I think it stays decently close. Still think
agree.
Kansas wins, but I'm going a little chalk this weekend. I don't like a lot of upsets.
I agree completely.
Iowa State, Miami. Miami's -2.5. Love Miami. Love Miami. The only thing that scares me is everybody's going to love Miami. But I still like Miami. Over-unders 133.5. If I wouldn't play either side, probably the over if I had to. But
I like Miami.
I like Miami at -2.5 a lot. Because Iowa State didn't convince me. Like, LSU was terrible. Wisconsin looked terrible. Wisconsin was just missing wide open shots too.
And Wisconsin only really has one player. So
exactly.
Is that a true testament to Iowa State? I'm not sure. I still like Miami.
And Miami's just got some dudes like Charlie Moore, Isaiah Wong, Cam McGusty. We mentioned it. They got some
bucket getters.
And Jim Larinaga is one heck of a coach.
He is. Shout out to ACC.
UNC, UCLA -2, over under 142.5. This is going to be an awesome game.
It is. And oh man, they opened as 2.5. It's already down to 2. I think it might drop a little more. Carolina matches up well with UCLA, I think. I don't think Cody Riley can guard Armando Bacot. I think it's going to be easy to get him in foul trouble. If Johnny Juzang does not have a game, he has not had a game yet this tournament. If he doesn't have a game, I really like Carolina's chances. I really do. I would have rather played St. Mary's, but
I like UCLA in this one. Everybody's on the Carolina bandwagon right now. Everybody is.
If Manic comes out and scores 30 again, though, they're not going to win.
The Manic stuff has to end soon. There's no way he can keep this up. He had Larry Bird.
He had 26 with 10 minutes left, Carter. He was going for 40. He was going for a career high.
That's what I'm saying. It has to end soon. Where are you guys playing at?
I think Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia, I know for a fact. Yeah, the Wells Fargo Center. Yep.
Why would Baylor get in that region?
I don't know.
They were the last one.
Well, Fort Worth was very close to Baylor, only 90 minutes away from their campus.
Well, just the region alone, because like Gonzaga got to pick that they got to be in the West region at San Fran. Since they were the last one seed, kind of like Duke. Duke didn't have a call.
Yeah.
Because Duke wanted to be in the Midwest, which that would have been awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We talked about that in the previous show too. Yeah. I
like UCLA in this one. This is gonna be one of those classic college basketball games.
I think so too.
This is gonna be an instant classic. This will be a buzzer beater game.
Do you think it'll be like that Kentucky Carolina game where Luke may hit the shot, Malik Monk,
it'll be
Fox?
Something. I think it'll be something like that. But we see like Bernard hit a three.
Somebody weird's gonna go off. I don't know who it's gonna be. Maybe it'll be like Caleb Love, shooting 8 for 8 from 3 or something like that. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe Leaky Black scores over 8 points. Call me crazy.
Do you think this is crazy that the winner of UNC UCLA makes the Final Four?
I don't know. The only reason I'm hesitant to say that is because if Carolina wins, well, actually, no, I don't think that's bad at all because we matched up pretty well with Purdue early in the year.
You're going to say you matched up well with anybody.
No. We played Purdue very close early in the year.
We matched up really good with the Brooklyn Nets. I think.
Oh my gosh.
He can't handle Leaky Black. Leaky Black's the best defender in history. Katie's not going to be able to score on him. RJ Davis can lock down Kyrie. Who's guarding Caleb Love on the Nets? I don't know. And then
not Seth Curry.
I don't think Blake Griffin can handle Armando Bacot.
Andre Drummond will easily get 2 fouls, and we're going to go open the first half. No, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad take because it just depends on how Purdue looks against St. Peter's. If St. Peter's somehow knocks off Purdue, I think the winner of Carolina UCLA is easily in.
Do you? Because then if St. Peter's beats Purdue,
it's got to run out, right? At some point, it has to run out. It has to.
What if they won the title?
That would be the greatest thing in sports history.
We did need to talk about this, though, and then we'll head out. Okay, 2 things real quick. If you had to give your Final Four right now after the Sweet 16, who do you think makes it right now?
All right.
I know you're going to say Carolina. You have to say Carolina. I have to say Duke. I think Duke's making it, even though Duke's definitely not making it. They have to play Gonzaga.
I got Gonzaga from the West. I got Carolina from the East. The South, I don't know. I think Kansas is still making it from the Midwest. The South, I don't know though.
It's kind of tempting to say Houston, huh?
I think I would have to. Houston, Gonzaga, Carolina, Kansas. I don't think that's a horrible Final Four. It sounds gross. It does kind of sound gross.
That's the one like you can't see that Final Four. I mean, I'm gonna pick Duke. I think Gonzaga makes it though, but Duke. I like UCLA to still make the Final Four, especially if UCLA can get past this UNC team. I like them. I think they're going to be really confident going into the Purdue game. I think Purdue's going to look down on St. Peter's and come out soft in that game too. That's why I kind of like St. Peter's plus 12.5. And then I'd say Duke, UCLA, and then I like Miami. I actually really think Miami comes out of that bracket. I don't like this Kansas team. I don't think this is one of the least talented Kansas teams we've seen. And
we talked about that, yeah.
I think Miami is just flat out more talented, and I like Jim Larinaga coaching a team more than I do Bill Self.
Hey, we've talked about it all year. Great guard play gets you far. Miami has 3 great guards.
And what is going on in Carolina right now? RJ Davis and Caleb Love are playing phenomenally. What's going on at Duke right now? Jeremy Roach has stepped up like he's a Jones brother.
Yep.
Gonzaga's guards are playing terrible, and Gonzaga's barely getting by.
Yep.
You have to Tiger Campbell's playing out of his mind too at UCLA.
Yep. Auburn's guards sucked. They lost.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty consistent.
Everything.
It's pretty consistent.
But then I think I like Houston, even though that sounds stupid. Houston or Arizona. I think the winner of that game goes to the Final Four.
I agree. I like Houston over Arizona 100%.
Okay, last thing we got to talk about. Duke, Carolina Final Four is real. I don't want to Duke has to do a lot of work. Carolina has to do a lot of work. There is potential.
There's a chance. And that is crazy. We talked about it.
I don't know if I could watch.
Wasn't that like a possibility a couple of years ago, but then Carolina lost in the first round to Wisconsin and like never really panned out.
Everyone picked it in 2019 when Duke had Zion. And then I think you guys lost to Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's when people were sick and Robert Wade. Yeah. Yep. This year, it seems more of a possibility this year than ever before. With the teams that are ahead for both teams on the road, the bracket, it seems decent odds, especially if both them win this weekend. Like the first game.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I could do it.
We couldn't have a podcast for a couple of weeks. Just whoever won, whatever. We just couldn't do it.
Because that's it. Like once they meet in the tournament, especially the Final Four.
Yeah.
They meet in a final. Like if it happened in the Sweet 16, like, yeah, it would be big, but like it would, I think it would only matter for that season. Elite Eight, it would matter because that takes you to the Final Four. In the Final Four, though, to go to the national championship.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that game has bragging rights forever. Nobody ever thinks about Coach K's last game at Cameron Indoor.
I don't know about that.
Ever again. No. If you lose in the Final Four,
that's always there.
That one will sting for the rest of your life, especially if that team goes on to win the national title and you guys lost in the Final Four. It's over. That will always
If
that will always be the card.
Here's the thing, though, because if that happens and Carolina loses in the Final Four to Duke, I'm instantly going to sit here and say Duke's the 2 seed, Carolina's an 8 seed. They shouldn't even be here. Carolina's playing with house money. You're supposed to. That's what I love. Because Carolina didn't do that well as favorites this year. You know, like they lost to some horrible teams. They're not supposed to be here right now, which I love. I love that.
But oh my gosh, that
would take 5 years off my life. I'm serious.
I almost feel like I'd get so amped up for that game where I would have to just talk to myself like, I don't care what happens.
Yeah. And then like at the very end, like if it's close, we're like, you know, if we lose on a buzzer beater, it's fine. I'm just gonna go outside.
Yeah,
I'll get some food.
I'm gonna go out.
Good season.
Go out with my lady. You know, have a great day. You know, take her out to dinner and not have to think about basketball. I was texting some people this weekend too. I hate how much I care about sports and how much I can't stand how much I care about like Duke basketball and sports in general, because how easy would life be if you didn't have to sweat out that Baylor game, or I didn't have to sweat out that Michigan State game, or you didn't have to sweat out, you know, your bracket and stuff like that.
I was on the floor with my head in my hands when Baylor and Carolina went to overtime. I was like shaking. It was unreal. And I don't usually get into the games like that, but in NCAA tournament games, whole different story.
It's another breed. Even the Cal State Fullerton game, like, you know, you're winning those games when you're a 1-2 seed, but especially as a Duke fan, I was at the Duke Lehigh game. It's always real. There's always that possibility. And there's nothing worse than when your team loses in the NCAA tournament and you realize, I don't get to see this for another 8 months.
Yep. And especially for Duke fans this year, that's it for Coach K. So it's going to be
done with Coach K. I'm not.
Yeah, we didn't have to experience that because Roy Williams, nobody knew he was going to retire, so we didn't get that feeling. But yeah,
I'm not like that upset about Coach K leaving. Like, whatever. I mean, John.
Real quick before we go, did Adam Stanko's tweet? Shout out Adam Stanko about Coach K maybe coming back in a couple of years and coaching at a smaller school. I'm sorry, I can't see that. Like, I know I get the idea, but
he
not
goes
Coach
back
K.
to Army and takes him to the title.
Not Coach K though. I can't see that happening. I think he's legitimately done.
No, I don't. I think he'll be done. I think he'll be 100%. He's going to be all over consulting roles. The thing is, like, he'll say like, oh, he'll go into like the darkness, like won't be seen much around public.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a lie. We're going to see him all over TV. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
You don't think he'll beat all the games? Because Roy Williams has been at every Carolina game this year. You don't think Coach K will come to every Duke game?
No, just because Coach K doesn't have a spot to sit where he can't be, because Coach K gets being around fans.
Oh, yeah.
There's just no spot in Cameron where you can sit comfortably and not be near your fans. Like, Roy Williams has security guards on that lower bowl front row where you can get by.
Not really. I'm telling you, Carter, I've been to a lot of the games this year since he's been coming to all the games. There is a line all the way up the bleachers from where he sits, people signing, taking pictures. He takes a selfie with everybody. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the Hornets game. He did that when the Hornets Bulls played. Everybody went up to him. He took a picture with everybody.
I
know. I really do like Roy Williams, but
yeah,
Coach K's not doing it. He's going to be on TV. He'll make TV appearances on ESPN, TNT. He'll be doing stories. He'll hop on podcasts. He's not done like doing that. He'll keep his name out there. He'll still be in the spotlight.
I don't think he'll be a head coach though.
He'll never be a head coach again. No,
I really don't think so.
I think he does like a Jerry West role, but with college basketball.
I can see that.
Where he's going to help out former assistants, do a bunch of speaking engagements and all that. He won't coach again. That's insane. If he did coach again, I'm curious. I would love to see it.
I would too. And, he's talking about like how he doesn't look like a coach that's done. Well, nobody ever does. It's your last season. You're going to be coaching like extra hard. Like, you're going to be into it, obviously.
Yeah, no, like Jim Boeheim is like 900 years old. You could say, he's got plenty of time left.
He's probably got one more year, but we don't have to get into that.
Let's hope. Golly. Okay, cool. Well, that'll do it for us. We will be back on, I believe, Friday. We'll let you know to check us out on all social media at CarterCast. Follow us on Twitter at Connor_Spare, at CarterB8. Follow us on TikTok at CarterCast. Check out the YouTube page, the CarterCast YouTube page. Like, subscribe to all the videos, and check out CarterCast.com. We have a bunch of new articles coming out this week. Not a lot came out last week just because we knew everybody was going to be watching the tournament. So check out CarterCast.com, KarterCast.com right now today. Check out articles on there, full video podcast clips and everything. And we will see y'all Friday probably. Bye.